with Underwater Panther, and I'm continuing on with my Gemini or ENTJ Astro-Psychological analysis series. This is based on my ebook, and I have the information in the description below if you're interested in this information. You have PayPal to make a donation if you do not want to purchase the book. But either way, I appreciate the love and support. Please like and subscribe to my channel and write a comment. I definitely want to hear from you. I don't really know anyone that gets into this. This is kind of like my own creation. I don't even really see this online with anyone combining astrology with psychology like I am. So do feel free to leave a comment, and I hope you enjoy this video. So moved into a different section of the ego. I've already covered the hero cognitive function, and psychologically that is extroverted thinking within the Gemini, and then astrologically they are ruled by Mercury, so I broke everything down. I also broke down extroverted thinking within the 12 personality types, and each cognitive function, how that plays out for each personality type in that different cognitive function slot. So now I am moving into section 2, which is the parent cognitive function. So section 2, the parent cognitive function within the Gemini ego. The cognitive attitude of the parent function within the ego is judgmental. It's where our values are. It can be critical, nurturing, corrective behaviors, or it can tend to be controlling. It's like a parent. The parent function development, it is the release valve of the inferior cognitive function, and it roughly develops around the ages of 12 to 20. So at first we are working on our hero cognitive function from about 1 year old or so until we are 12 or 13, and then we start developing our parent cognitive function. So the parent function is a person's sense of personal responsibility. It verifies information, proper procedures, retains references, sources, and wants to understand processes and systems. This function is more conscious and cautious, and it can talk about our values, and it will fight for and stand up for our values. That is what makes us stand up for ourselves or others. Our parent function does the job unlike the hero cognitive function, and does not expect a party afterwards. A mature warrior just does his or her duty. It forces people to behave and stay in line in society. It's about morality and intention versus desires. Adversity develops the parent's maturity and personal responsibility. The parent, introverted intuition, in this case with the Gemini, teaches the hero or extroverted thinking to calm down and protect the child cognitive function, which is extroverted thinking within the Gemini. The only way the child feels safe inside someone is if the parent feels safe. If you show the parent you're behaving responsibly and are respectful, you'll be able to social engineer someone. The parent function has a hard time developing in a person because of maturity. It actually is one of the hardest functions to develop within the ego besides the inferior function. This is because it is pessimistic and very skeptical. Before adolescence or young adulthood, most people are operating under their hero and child functions, which are optimistic or positive, because they don't expend as much energy while using them. And we're talking mental energy here. They are considered positive functions, the hero and the child. As people mature, they'll start using their pessimistic functions, which are the parent and inferior functions. The parent has more awareness than the child function, but costs more energy to use. So over time, our parent function's voice will grow louder, demanding to be heard. If we resist its development, we will perpetuate dominant hero extremes and exacerbate inferior repression. We need to release this tension by integrating the parent function in a healthy manner. We tend to double down on the use of our child function, which is SE in the Gemini's case, instead of admitting that our hero and child is not completely serving us well. The hero and child have the same orientation, extroversion in the Gemini's case, and it feels like a team-up situation. This creates a false sense of power and can become quite addictive. The introverted and extroverted sides of our personality can grow extremely dangerous over time when we are stuck in the hero-child loops or trying to double down on a child, or even when we become in the inferior grip, which I'll explain later. So doubling down on the child function, extroverted sensing to avoid the parent development, which involves introverted intuition, is usually a slow and unconscious process of stress management and defense building, but only creates more life problems as time goes on. This is often why it resembles a slow spiral to rock bottom. Many people have to hit rock bottom to admit their problem solving or lack thereof is actually unhealthy and isn't working. Ideally, the parent function, introverted intuition, counterbalances and addresses the blind spots and excesses of the child function. Relying heavily on your hero and child can work as a child and teenager because life is much more simpler, but certainly will not work as an adult as life gets much more complicated. With hero and child function focus, you're only seeing or using half of reality. Function development is a long-term process, and you will certainly make mistakes, but those are opportunities to learn and mature. Since the parent function is the opposite orientation of the hero and child, introversion in the Gemini's case, it will bring them back to earth, so to speak. When the parent and child functions are properly aligned, a person is stable because the inferior function is more at ease and less likely to manifest disruptively. Frees up our mental energy to work further on personal growth. Resistance against parent development is ultimately rooted in fear of the inferior function, which is introverted feelings, because both functions are urging you to move in the opposite direction. So introversion, in this case, that seems unnatural to your leading function in your ego, which is extroverted thinking here. Successfully reconciling the child and parent function is ultimately about taking personal responsibility and recognizing that apart from environmental changes, the root of your problems is largely yourself and your own unconscious resistance to psychological growth.